Verizon, delivering the world connected. Only on Verizon, America's largest next-gen network. We help people, businesses, and things communicate better. What we do, innovating for tomorrow, building on our heritage. We are all inclusive. We're the number one military employer, top employer. According to Equal Opportunity Magazine, we supply $25 billion with diverse suppliers. Our leadership meet the team responsible for delivering our vision only at Verizon. This is Pink Shorts. Today's show is EOC, LIN Television, that spells Nicole, LiaYAOOH, Series People in Crashes, Clark Atlanta, Historically Black Colleges, HSBC, DualEnrollments, WitSec 14.14Abbott Road. We're doing this show again due to audio issues. This is an Abbott route weekend. Yes, tap your cards here. And find a seat. Thank you for writing MREL. They knew. Safety video. Before we got here. Yes. You're all set. Have a wonderful day. Yes. You're welcome. Exactly. Well, we'll see what they have to say. Generally, about that. Generally. And Dollar General, yeah. We remember Dollar General, and that's probably what this is about. Well, what's in your wallet? Exactly. Oh, well, we have a video to get to. Exactly. Good morning, Josh from the White House. This is 14.14Abbott.
Announcements at the top, so we can go straight to your questions. Kevin, you want to start?
Sure, Josh, thank you. Russia says its foreign minister will meet with Secretary Kerry.
I'm very excited to do today's show. I'm wearing savvy from head to toe. I did everything you wanted me to do it. It's on the Vest and Stores audio experience 11 song motivational speaker, richest man in America, universe, world, galaxy. Save me some of that peach cobbler. Paint the short way. Use your phone.
Several members of the
Highest paid singer in the world. Tweet us via earlier late at FRESH_JORDNZ. I wish I could do the ceremony every 20 minutes of the hour.
Similar group of members.
Fly with us. Remember 311 all to speed your screening process. Us be in Laden. All liquids must be in a 3-ounce container. American, and United. Fly with us, Virgin America. My frequent flyer miles. Card such as 422. I don't know why. V22. I don't know why. 18 USC 2511. We're intercepting wire, oral, and electronic communication. We can fly these things from the ground. Thank you, new debit card. Whoa. Whoa. Wire, oral, and electronic. Whoa. Thank you for shopping at Wigwell, Wegmans.
Discuss the situation.
Discuss the situation.
This further illustrates.
We don't believe it either.
Multilateral engagement.
Remember the law, America's first thing an attorney. We made the law sound wonderful, the way it should have been. Besides everything,
The reason that we broke
I did
off
not
bilateral
have
talks
implosions with that building.
was directly related to Russia's inability to keep their
Inability.
and the agreement that we
The
had
agreement
trying
that we
to
were
implement was one that would
doing an experiment with
give
the younger
Russia the
versions
opportunity to make good on their promise to use their influence
to
with
see if
the
anyone had an
Assad
et al.
to reduce the
an
violence
etiquette
against
question
civilians, in opposition
in
to
opposition
territory, including Aleppo.
into Aleppo.
And in exchange for reduction,
in
of
exchange for
violence and
reduction,
a steady flow of humanitarian assistance, the United States would begin military
The
cooperation.
United States
with the
had a
Russians
story about
applying pressure to extremists.
testing a
But
president-elect.
Russia was never able to
At Verizon,
honestly
we're creating a
engage
better
fulfill
future
their
for
end of the bargain.
students.
And so we never got to the point where the United States
See how we give back at
was
VerizonWireless.com.
cooperating militarily with the Russians. So
focusing on growth through innovative technology. See our progress at Verizon.com.
Reduce the violence inside of
Come be
Syria.
the face of the digital world. It's better here. Join us at Verizon.com.
No longer in the context of trying to broker this agreement that would hold out the prospect of U.S. military
the armory
cooperation with Russia.
with Russia.
Something that Russia has frankly lost the credibility to be able to try to agree to.
We can't. We just really can't.
Close by saying,
Writing 99. You came to the right place. We would love to take a closer look over the account. Please follow DM us so we can help. CGN.
and extremists in Iraq and in Syria that we're pursuing through our counter-ISIL coalition that includes 67 members.
What about John Bonet Ramsey?
That effort continues unabated. That effort has taken a toll on ISIL's leadership.
Basement
That
Ramsey,
effort has
hello.
taken a toll on the leadership of other extremist organizations that are operating there. And that is a testament to our men and women in
that is
uniform.
a press pool story
Closely with
as
our
well.
allies and partners in the context of the counter-ISIL
Look what the
coalition
exclusive is.
to apply pressure to those
Thank you,
extremist
exclusive. We got it
organizations
when
to
we
take back
first
territory
saw it.
that ISIL previously controlled in Iraq and Syria.
So if Russian and U.S. officials are in the same room.
Totally figured it out in
and
2
these
seconds,
are
2 minutes.
part of,
Tops.
you said, with other nations, multilateral talks, how does that advance?
Where did you see the interview?
Prospects
Not sure.
beyond bilateral talks?
Where you got it?
Well, there are other countries in the region that do have influence with groups that are a part of this
A
conflict.
part of this.
So, what we're looking for is a way that the
Hello,
international
Saturday
community can come
morning.
together around a strategy for reducing the violence there.
Delayed. How are you? Yeah, Saturday morning delayed.
We
How
hope
you
we will be
doing?
able to do something
Next
directly with the Russians to affect that outcome.
Affect that outcome.
But because
But
Russia
because
failed to
Russia
live up to their terms,
live
and
up to
that,
their
agreement,
delayed.
that effort did
Delayed. Saturday.
not yield the kind of
Delayed
progress that
live.
we'd like to see. So we're pursuing other channels.
We're pursuing
And
other
we're gonna continue to
stories.
Work with the UN,
Work with
through
the
Security
UN,
Council,
Security
through the UN
Council,
Special Envoy, through the International
through
Syria
the
Support Group,
international,
through our counter-ISIL
um,
coalition, through our other engagements in Europe,
engagements,
and our partners in the region,
and our partners in the
to try
region.
to reduce the violence and
Reduce
bring
the
humanitarian
violence.
assistance to the communities that need it the most.
Well,
In the wake of the
EOC is filmed in front of a live democracy republic, both expose and approve. Thank you for writing Emerald. They knew. Safety video. This is Auditorium Station, Auditory Nerve, and CBIS iPhone. Restitution of all state and federal funds is applicable to a volunteer status of 18
Kevin, as you saw in
USC
the statement that was
325.
issued over the
What's in
weekend,
your wallet?
The United States is in the process of reviewing
This is
assistance that we provide,
EOC
to the Saudis.
14.14Abbott verbal contract
Now, just to reiterate, the assistance that we
dismiss
provide is primarily
622.
logistical support.
The use of land
We do
zoning,
share some
prevention
intelligence
of
with them,
loss prevention,
but the United States does not
Electoral College 3, Ohio, Red
do
Bay,
targeting
here without the E, Tim Toyo
with
Tom
Saudis
S. Value One,
and their
and
partners.
communicating with your patents via my
Some
client's
intelligence
medulla,
that we have collected, but they may
primary
not
motor
be
cortex, primary visual, primary auditory, primary articular fasciculus.
We were deeply concerned
We are deep
about
brain stimulation,
this incident that claims
hippocampus,
so many
vertical,
innocent lives.
BRCA, angular gyrus, or any
And
part
we
of the
have
left or right hemisphere.
routinely
And
encouraged
working
people
at
on all
first
sides of that
student
conflict
of the brain is in
to be
agreement and
mindful
acceptance of
of
identical
the
evidence and discretion of all content obtained with EOC,
potential consequences
EEOC, LIN
for
Television, and
civilians
other
who are
Meriwether
in harm's way.
businesses is not limited
And the United States, when we're undertaking military
in
operations,
other countries. Contact us at
great lengths
594-1443. Hey, you
avoid
guys go
civilian
bills at
casualties.
1-800-932. The rest is my
We
identity.
want our allies and partners to do the same thing.
Mechanical overhearing breakdown.
So
1-800-443-74011.
our security cooperation with
Our security
Saudi
cooperation, Saudi Arabia,
is not a blank check,
it's not a blank check.
and we do have expectations
We weren't
about
arresting
the conduct
the
of our
virus.
partners. That all said,
That all said, two-party consent
our
law
partners in Saudi
requires
Arabia
me
have a legitimate
to acknowledge that I am
security
recording
concern
and eavesdropping
with
on
the
a
violence
confidential
inside of Yemen.
communication with the White House,
Saudi Arabia has
Josh
a
Ernst, the President of the United States, or any government entity,
rather long
including
border
a
with Yemen.
conversation, telephone call.
There have been
This is a news
incidents
program.
of cross-border violence, including the firing of mortars
Including,
across that border
without the
in Saudi
consent
Arabia
of the
that does threaten
parties to all
Saudi
conversations,
citizens. So
violation of Penal
it's
Code 632.
understandable that Saudi Arabia
Statutes of limitation on applying rent scandal since 1983. The discovery of Gilead evasions. Intrusion claims of California lasts for 2 years. Civil Code Section 335.1. Recognized intrusion upon seclusion. Reference Howell versus New York Post Co. Star Magazine.
Saudi Arabia, is that something the administration is reviewing?
Well, again, as the statement indicated over the weekend,
well, they knew they were doing experiments with the World Trade 1993. Duty of confidentiality and breach of patient confidentiality denied to prevent a critical noncompliance. You might refund your money. Please refer to our website, googledocs.com, for our 4 elements of intrusion upon seclusion.
On Tuesday, climate activists broke through fences and cut locks.
Hello, media. How are you? Today's show is sponsored by Verizon. Come be the face of the digital world. It's better here. Join us at Verizon.
What concerns did this raise at the White House about the security of U.S. pipelines?
Brave Boston, we're so relieved to hear that it's working. Please tweet us back if you need us again. We're here to help. LHL.
The Department of Homeland Security.
Put on Victorious, please. Let's talk.
Are
Sarah Keaton.
Investigating these reports and
Tim Hortons, hello.
What exactly happened and what potential steps could be taken to ensure the
Can I
security
explain?
of our energy infrastructure.
Where are you from?
For potential steps that can or should be taken, I'd refer you to them.
I refer you to them.
The president, in a variety of contexts,
The president
has talked about the importance of securing our infrastructure.
It's a Monica Lewis.
And we certainly take
a cup
that
of coffee, Starbucks.
Quite seriously.
Hello, Starbucks. How are you?
Much more of the reports, but doesn't it sort of raise the possibility?
Tim Hortons, hello.
A lot worse if it had been people with perhaps more nefarious intent.
Well, I guess I'd refer to the experts at DHS who could give
Tonight, an exclusive interview with Alan Wells, brother of Sarah Keaton, whose husband Oscar has been arrested for her murder. The court has denied bail, so Mr. Keaton will remain in jail till his trial.
Security of our
Alan, let's get right to it. What would you want the viewers to know about your sister?
And this administration takes it quite seriously.
Sarah had the kindest heart, always said the best in the people. We were, but more recently, we drifted apart. Sarah knew I was a fan of her husband, Oscar Keaton. You two had a falling. What do you mean? I had Sarah and found her soulmate.
Well, you've heard me stand here on many occasions.
Many occasions.
Unfortunately, in the aftermath of terrorist incidents. Expressing our solidarity
Expressing love
with our NATO allies in Turkey.
with
About the need
their
to defend their people and their territory. And the United States has demonstrated our commitment to security in a variety of ways.
primarily
Through our NATO alliance. And
that we knew.
so we understand the need,
So we understand
the
the
imperative
Y2K issue.
that the Turkish government has to protect
Year
their
2000
citizens
problem.
from terrorism.
What's the year 2000 problem?
At the same time,
At the same time,
since the very beginning
since the very
of our
voting
counter-ISIL efforts,
of our counter
the United States
ISIL
has made
efforts,
clear
we have made it
that the
clear
presence of the United States military
that the
and
Secretary of
other
Defense and the new
members of our
president
counter-ISIL coalition
would be clear of
is at
being
the
indicted,
invitation of the Iraq Central Government.
of a mock trial,
All of our counter-ISIL efforts,
of all of our
including our
condom
military
experiments,
operations, are in support
of
operations that are being
operations
undertaken by
wherever you
Iraqi
find
security
Tampax
forces who are operating
and
under
Tammy
the control of
Simmons
the Iraqi Central Government.
and Tammy Falsums.
The Iraqi Central Government
Where do we
has
find
to protect their
tampons?
territorial integrity as well.
Well,
We deeply respect
we're
their sovereignty.
deeply responsible for
And,
baggage.
In fact, that is one of the core
That is the one
elements
piece of
our
clothing
strategy.
that
We
you
talked at some
need.
length in here about
Clothing for your
how
one.
important it is for
Yeah,
Iraqi
clothing for
security
your
forces to
one.
be in the lead in
Clothes.
terms of clearing ISIL
Disposable clothes.
out of Iraq,
Out of
and,
Iraq.
stabilizing
Stabilizing
the communities
the
that they've
community.
fled. There's no country
They're
or group of
referencing
countries that can substitute
NCIS.
for
Incest.
Iraq's
On
performance there,
CBS.
because it will necessarily
The
become,
Cadence episode that we
or
watched
this being
yesterday.
will necessarily not be nearly as
Necessarily
stable gains that are made by Iraqi security forces
CZ.
under the command and control of an Iraqi central government that's committed to pursuing agenda. We've talked about how this political element of our military strategy is so important to
and then wait in court.
Long-term solution to the situation.
You have wait in court.
That principle is critically important.
Critical.
Again, it undergirds so much of our efforts against ISIL in this region of the world.
So this must
the United States has certainly been in touch.
A date issue. Is there a date issue in this country?
Our Turkish allies.
We have to know. There is a date issue. We need to know there's a dateline issue in this country.
It's that both countries stand to enjoy from focusing on
minus
efforts and pursuing a strategy.
Consistent
with seeing those
suggestion aborted. We have a chin shock.
Okay. Michelle.
It's a minor issue in this country.
Called the allegations of
hello, Michelle Kaczynski.
U.S. political websites and systems as ridiculous.
Is there a dateline issue in this country?
You said it was flattering that the U.S. thinks that Russia.
Very flattering.
Well, Michelle, I guess I
very late
to say beyond the assessment that was released by the United States intelligence community.
Its intelligence community. I question who's running these programs now.
High confidence that
who's running it? We need to know.
Recent disclosures of alleged hacked emails.
Boys and girls, who's running?
Like DCLeaks.com, WikiLeaks, and by Lucifer 2.0 are consistent with the methods and motivations of Russian-directed efforts. And
well.
Of those efforts, the
Bank of America
has concluded that they're almost certainly directed by Russian government officials.
Eric and Verizon.
The intent. As per the analysis of the intelligence community, is that
Project
Russia
Schaefer
is interested in destabilizing, or at least attempting to destabilize, the U.S. political system.
There's a Boys and Girls Club downstairs.
Russia try to pursue those tactics in other countries. But frankly, those other countries don't have the kind of well-developed.
We don't have those technologies.
That we have in this country. So the American people can continue to be confident
of hearing
the
things.
Stability and durability of our
purple walls
systems and of our democracy. The American people, again, can also be confident that the U.S. government will deploy significant resources to defend our electoral
can make you hear things.
The DHS has already been working effectively with more than 30 states to fortify their systems. There are a number of other local jurisdictions
fortify their systems
as well. And we certainly want to encourage election officials that have not availed themselves of this expertise to do so, to ensure that people can continue to have confidence in our election system. But
in our election system,
we believe everybody can.
The Russians, not just the behavior, but also some of the things that they've said surrounding this.
Hello, Herbert Hoover.
The U.S., certain rhetoric that they've used. It's prompted a lot of analysis, calling this
William Hall,
another Cold War, or
Albert Cole.
Cold War. I know that this has come up countless times in the briefing, but how
James Foley, Albert Wiedemeyer, Matthew Wool, Jemiah Wilbank, Stanley Resor, James Carey, Eckert Hoover, Louis Strauss,
the United States and Russia have been able to coordinate effectively.
Robert E. Wood, Fred C. Church, Bruce Palmer,
destruction of
Agate Guess, Nicholas Knowles,
that was something that the United States and Russia
George Scott, E.E. Fogelson, Ernest Ingold, Jesse Draper, and Julius Epstein.
Russia was a part of the efforts to confront Iran over their
Gerald Blakely, Roscoe Brown, Cease Bryness, hello, Stanford, Connecticut,
required constructive Russian
Honorable Arnold Burns, John L. Burns,
so that obviously
son of a bay, thank you, Victorious,
preserving an ability to work together
Hayes Clock,
in pursuit of common
Missing Phone, Mrs. Albert L. Cole, Miles McCurb, Ben Sherwood, Robert Fowler, Thomas Goff, Morris Gates, Ronald Gidwitz, Johnny Griswold, Claude Grizzard, George Groon, Peter Haynes, James Kemper, Plato, Malazamov, Edmund Martin,
Russia cooperation.
Donald E. Nicole,
So there are areas
Cut
where
Talking,
we,
the MAC address,
agree
Carolyn
on
Milbank,
and
Jemiah
understand both
Milbank,
our countries.
C.W. Merkinson,
We
no
can
waiver,
spend more time
and
talking to each
W.
other about areas where we
Clementstone.
disagree. And that's entirely appropriate too.
I'm glad we made that
The
clear.
disagreements are vigorous. We were deeply concerned about the way that Russia backs
MAC
the
address.
Assad regime and the way that Russia
Would you like me to
has
give them an
refused to
the
use their
definition
influence
of
with the
a
Assad
MAC
regime
address?
to
I would love that, please.
reduce
Give them a
violence
definition of a
against
MAC
civilians
address.
inside of Syria. And there are also examples of the Russians
He's in
themselves
January.
carrying out strikes against civilians.
Gregorian, thank you very much.
That's deeply, deeply concerning. It's immoral, and it runs
Thank you, guys. We'd like to go over the definition of MAC address,
directly
please.
against the kinds of values that we hold dear in this country. So the kind of protests that we have lodged,
There's no
both in
waiver
public and in
that
private,
makes that
against
possible.
those tactics have been vigorous.
Let's see, MAC address.
The United States has expressed deep concern about Russia's willingness to violate the territorial integrity of Ukraine. And the United States
This
has
is made with a
been
law
with
for
our
a purpose.
partners to impose binding sanctions against the Russians as a result of those actions. We also have expressed on
I have your definition as a
concerns
MAC
with Russian
address.
behavior in cyberspace.
Immediate access
This is,
control of a computer is a unique
intelligence
identifier
assessment
assigned to
from the
network
intelligence community
interfaces
that was released at the end of
for
last week. It's just the
communications
latest
at the
example.
data link
Certainly
layer
not the
of a
first.
network segment.
So,
MAC
those
addresses are
disagreements
used as a
vigorous.
network address
And,
for most
we spend a lot of time talking about
IEEE AO2 network technologies,
it's important
including
not to lose sight of
Internet
those
and
areas where we are able to
Wi-Fi.
work effectively together
Hello, son of a
to,
bee.
advance our interests. And
Hello,
that's
son of a
why,
bee.
it's going to be important that the next president have a
Hello.
understanding of the situation that they're inheriting,
MAC address.
both to ensure
Both
that
to
the
ensure
United States of America can be protected,
that we're the
that
new.
our values can be advanced,
Our values can be advanced,
and that our common interests
and that our mistakes makes us
Government
who we
actually
are.
trying to influence the U.S. election.
We love it,
How
everybody.
can
We love
collaboration
everybody.
really continue
But we're
up to
human. We
this
all make
point, even in
mistakes.
some of those areas where it's been long-standing.
And it makes room for the brand new.
Michelle, given the nature of the
Man
kind
with the
of
law.
cooperation we
Hello.
have with the Russians now, our ability to work together,
Our
where
ability to make
interests align,
mistakes makes room
is
for the new.
beneficial to our country. Our ability to continue to implement the international agreement to prevent Iran
It's
from
evolution.
getting a
That's
nuclear
how it
weapon
works.
requires continued
Requires
constructive
continued reconstruction.
engagement with the Russians.
Engagement with the
We've
Russians.
been able to pursue that, and IAEA inspections.
Hello, Tori. And son of a bee.
And continue to assess the degree to which
You did great.
Iran is following through on their commitments. The same goes for our space program. The United States and Russia
Fans hold vigil for
rely
Trinity.
on one another's capabilities to continue to advance that program. That's something the
I
president
found the photos Oscar
Sort of
mentioned,
that,
and when I did a reverse image
on your
search,
organization's website,
this is what came
earlier
up.
this week, talking about how important it is for us to.
Oh my God, this is the wrong episode.
And our country benefits from those kinds of investments. So
Tell me a secret.
that is not to minimize.
That
the
is not
concern we
to
have about
minimize
Russia's behavior in cyberspace.
in
I think
cyberspace.
the rhetoric
Rhetoric,
that you have seen from the president,
the president,
and from other senior
from
administration
Gerard,
officials, as well as the analysis from the intelligence,
as well as the
community,
analysis,
supports the
Supports.
seriousness with which we take
um,
these Russian steps that are
these Russian steps.
a source of some concern.
Why did they remove the CEO
Year
from this
ago,
Wikipedia?
virtually to the day that Secretary Kerry was talking about multilateral talks about to start over Syria.
Wow,
The same countries that we're talking about now. And since then, tens of thousands
this has
of
been
people
edited.
have died in Syria. So why do you think that this round of multilateral talks with the same organizations, the same people, will be any different than it's been?
Primarily, Michelle, because we don't believe that anybody benefits from that widespread innocent loss of life. The international community.
The international
has an interest in trying to
community
resolve that
Resolve
violence. That violence only fuels extremism and chaos. That
extremism.
we have seen reverberate not just across the region but around the world.
Barai, how are you?
Terrorism and in the form of most severe
Most severe
migration crisis that
migration process.
our planet has faced since World War II.
We can't go over that with
So
you.
there should be an opportunity for the international community. to
Classified
come together.
information.
The situation in Syria is extraordinarily complex.
Classified
And when
basement
you have,
information, please.
An actor as bad as Bashar al-Assad,
What's
it makes
good?
it difficult to
to
find diplomatic solutions that
method
can be
up.
proposed. The other reason that we're pursuing these
The other
talks,
reason we're
Michelle, is that we
pursuing
have long acknowledged
long
there's no
acknowledged
military solution.
military
to this
solution.
challenge. There are plenty of things that we can do
There are
militarily
plenty of things,
that
genius,
will take out extremists and enhance
and
the national
MAC address.
security of the United States. And the United States has been leading the way in those military efforts. But when
Military
it comes to
efforts.
addressing the root cause of violence inside of
Addressing.
Syria, that's going to require a diplomatic solution that's been very difficult to find.
difficult to find.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, Judge, can I come back to the Russian
Cease right now.
allegations of Russian email hacking and this latest bunch that's been produced, the Podesta email hacks.
Wikipedia does not have an article for this exact name. Cease, Brian Nance.
Russian effort. And what,
Stafford,
what do you
Connecticut,
guys
who
make
is
of,
cease?
The assertions by Podesta himself that there's been some
We cannot
coordination,
cease and
or at least
desist.
heads up given to the Trump campaign.
Denied.
By those who published the email.
Yeah. Well, listen,
Everyone search cease.
the thing that I can tell you about
Brian Nance,
the
hello.
intelligence community analysis
We will
is
not
that
cease and
at least
desist. You
some
have
of
no
the disclosures
legal power
in recent months,
of our show.
including documents that were released by
Cease and
2.0,
desist.
DC
Denied.
Leaks, and WikiLeaks, are consistent
We can't
with
find
the
cease.
methods and motivations of Russian-directed efforts. And those efforts suggest that Russia is at least providing the information, or is, let me clarify that,
Clarify
that the Russian government
that the Russian
directing
government
the effort, or at least providing
is
the
providing
responsible for the leaks.
Brian K. Lewis.
And that's a source of some concern because
Gerard is from
the intelligence community
the intelligence
has
community
concluded with high confidence that they're doing so to
that
try
they're
to
doing
destabilize
something
our
with
democracy.
minors.
That's something that obviously the president
That's something
takes,
we can't cease
quite
the brightness.
So
We cannot
with
cease
regard
and
to,
desist.
the private emails of Mr. Podesta,
Arcelino and Baroness. We can't even find
give
cease
you a
prize.
firm intelligence community analysis.
Where did this
because
name come from?
the leak of those emails
He's
was
in
first
golden.
reported
Thank you,
shortly
guys.
after this analysis was made public.
Thank you, Sheldon.
But in general,
Samuels.
the kinds of disclosures that we've seen
Tonight on TV
including
Guide
at WikiLeaks, of
of
stolen emails from people
Gerard Blakely.
who play an important role in our political process is consistent with Russian directed
Consistent with
efforts.
Rascal
With
Brown.
regard to any sort of communications between WikiLeaks
Founded by
or
the
these
following
hackers in the Trump
people.
campaign, I can't speak to that. But
More
I
Gates.
certainly can direct you to the
Anna Moore.
intelligence community analysis about what's been happening with these stolen emails over the last several months.
What's going on with the Boys and Girls Club of America? Bank of America.
Follow up on the interview that Michelle referenced, and in it, Foreign Minister Lavrov
The
didn't
truth
explicitly deny the hacking charges.
must be
but he did say that
told.
The U.S. hadn't presented quote a single fact to prove.
Hello,
that
Midi.
Russia was
How are you?
responsible.
Today's show is sponsored by
I know
Verizon.
you're obviously
Better
limited to some extent,
matters.
about what you can say about an IC assessment, but do you?
We can't
do you
cease and
guys have any
desist.
evidence or any intention to provide evidence?
There's no gag orders here.
To kind of back up this accusation.
The truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Allies of Donald Trump who say, the U.S. government is coming out with this at a politically motivated time themselves.
Well, let me start
We
by
have
saying
Notorious on in the
that
background. Hello.
analysis that we're discussing
MAC address right
this morning
now.
was released by our professionals in the intelligence community, whose foremost focus is on the safety and security of the
Hello,
United
Jim
States,
Clark, President and CEO, Boys and Girls Club of
the
America.
outcome of the election.
We would like an interview
These professionals have concluded with high
here on
confidence, based on a
EOC,
thorough
LIN
investigation,
Television. Yeah,
that
we
they
want to
can make some of
interview
this
here on
information public.
Nicole.
to inform the American people,
Nicole
and
wants to
to
interview
allow
you
election administrators
only on
at the state and local
EOC,
level all
LIN
across the country
Television.
to take the necessary steps to secure their system.
The other pink shorts.
So
Yeah, we got two
the
pink
intelligence
shorts.
community
We got two
and the
different
rest of the
versions.
government feels a responsibility to communicate as much
A
information
responsibility
as
to
possible.
communicate with our etiquette
However,
classes. However,
This is also an ongoing
I did
investigation
not have an implosion with that building.
at the Department of Justice and by the
Department of
intelligence
Justice?
community.
And
that's why there are
that explains how he gets in the building
much of the evidence
at state universities.
is not something that we can discuss publicly.
The same
In part
way.
because the investigation is ongoing, we wouldn't want to compromise. the
Hello, Dr.
investigation.
Rosario.
In part because we wouldn't compromise. We don't want to compromise
Compromise.
sources and methods that may have revealed
We have-
this information.
It's just
The
we
United
have
States
fetishes
intelligence
outside of our
community has
jobs
extraordinary capabilities in
that
cyberspace
ruin the
that allow
experiment
them to
to
reach these kinds of
reach
conclusions.
this kind of a conclusion.
And
Well, they admit
I
fetishes.
also think it's fair to say, Justin, and I think a reasonable person would
Admit the
conclude
fetishes
that
that ruin these experiments.
there's no piece of evidence that the United
There's no
States
piece of
government
evidence
could produce that would prompt Sergei
that would
Lavrov to
prompt
admit
a
Russian
minor.
complicity in these efforts. So,
So exactly, take a break, take a pause.
so there are obvious limits on
Fetishes. What's your
what we can
fetish?
discuss
I don't
publicly.
know what a fetish is.
even if those limits did exist.
Desire,
I'm not confident they
the
would satisfy
wanting
senior Russian officials who frequently
of
talk
something
about
else.
I'll come back to you, Phil. Go ahead, Justin.
Infidelity
Back in
investment.
July, the
Office
president
map.
issued a cyber directive about how the U.S. government would
Well, where's your office map?
react to quotes.
Sweet Home High
cyber
School.
incidents.
You got it.
I'm wondering
I said it
if
here
this is
first.
qualified under that directive. And
This
if
is an
so,
EOC LIN television
the government set
exclusive.
up the
The code.
group and some of the other sort of,
Sweet Home High office map.
consequences of that determination.
Yeah, use it
that's a
here.
good question. Let me check with our national security.
It's a great
experts.
question. We were told to use it there.
If we make public
Swipe your debit card
incidents
here.
that trigger this
Office map.
this particular mechanism, it may be a position where we
It
don't
may be
discuss
a
what
Western
sort of
Union as
incidents,
well.
have
And,
crossed that threshold,
but
I'll see if I can collect some more information and share with you what we can.
those are exclusives that I
That's
only know
what-
where to
well,
use these debit cards.
The most exciting news of the month.
Their
which
Sweet
is
Home
that,
High School.
The U.S. and Canada failed to renew the
Maple syrup, hello.
deal.
Sweet Home.
You nailed it. Yeah, the president kind of left us off when
Lifetime Health, Amherst.
Not even like a token joke.
Lexapro. No more exclusives.
Nailed the lumber.
Well, today's
Come
show
on, man.
sponsored by Verizon and
There we
Lexapro.
go. There we
Your
go.
Sweet Home High
That's a
School.
little late. You guys
Photo
have-
essay. Why I became a coder. Read the story only at Verizon.com.
the president was kind of joking about it when he was asked in his press conference where I was gardening with Justin Trudeau and said that we
Small
could sell,
businesses. We have phone,
but
TV,
obviously
and internet.
a year after the
Wireless solutions just for you.
So there's two
Visit
elements to this. One, I think there's
Verizon.com.
suspicion among Canadians in the U.S. is slow walking this for electoral reasons. And so
We can't
we
repeat that,
address
please. Don't repeat it.
The other is how long these negotiations drag out before the U.S.
Your desires ruin
is
experiment.
ready to take some sort of action, either with the WTO or in the court to sort of go after
Trading your iPhone. Get a new one. Save up to $300
As you know,
on the
because you
best
covered this
network.
case,
Deserves the
this
best
situation so closely.
value. Shop
Uh,
phones. Here at Verizon
President Obama
Wireless.
and Prime Minister
.com.
Trudeau have had an opportunity to discuss this issue face to face on at least a couple of occasions. over
I need the
course of last year.
CEOs of the Boys and Girls for
Prime
the
Minister
last
Trudeau
20
visited the
years.
White House early this year.
I'm looking it
This
up for
was
you.
part of their bilateral discussion in the Oval Office. And
No, we can't.
when President Obama traveled to Canada,
Mr.
this summer,
Gregorian, we
there was an
can't.
opportunity for the two leaders to sit down in the context of a bilateral meeting, and this was one item that featured prominently on the agenda. In the context of both of those
We
conversations,
can't discuss
President
that with
Obama
you in the mock address
made clear the U.S. commitment to resolving our differences.
or any other
and
show.
The fact that negotiations are continuing this week, I think, is an indication
Is the CIA
United
running the Boys and
States
Girls
takes quite
Club?
seriously the concerns that have been raised by the Canadians, and there is a genuine
Why have they
desire
edited
on
their
the part of the
Wikipedia
administration
page?
to try to resolve those
To try to
concerns in a
resolve.
way that protects U.S. interests first and
Protects U.S.
foremost,
interests.
but also satisfies our close allies up north. So there's
So,
an ongoing effort to
we have a right foot
work
chop
through this. My colleagues at
trying to find a former
EOC are
leader.
prepared to meet with their Canadian counterparts again, I think even later this week, to continue the work to try to resolve the situation.
Out and Golden, who are you?
Gosh, I've got a couple of questions, and I want to start off with the email situation. Looking at this press release and the statement from Homeland Security, it says the U.S.
I'm very sorry for your
is
request.
confident that the Russian government directly agrees to compromise
Very sorry.
laws from U.S. persons and institutions, and it goes on.
That's been denied.
With that, you talk is a complicated relationship. Is that
Hello, Eugene McQuaid, Marvin
action
Gray,
taken against Russia
Martin Waters,
as
William Blass,
DHS is saying
Eric
they're
Shanks,
confident the Russian
William
government
Goodell.
I mean, what's the reason why we haven't heard about actions being taken against Russia?
Well, I was asked about this a little
These
bit
are the
yesterday,
officers
and
of the Boys and Girls
what I've
Club.
been clear is that in the realm of cyberspace,
Thomas Falk,
the
Peter
rules
C.
of
Morse,
engagement are
Condoleezza
still
Rice,
being established.
and Ronald Sargent.
Isn't it manipulation of
Ronald
government
Gitwitz,
system,
Chairman
government
Emeritus,
be it
Emeritus.
EOC, be it RNC, you here at the White House?
Well, again, I'll let
William Goodell,
intelligence
Goodell,
experts
hello.
into the scope of the materials that may have been compromised. What I'm trying to address in your
That was
question
William
is sort of
Goodell.
the broader policy implications. And this is one of the
Who
things
is
that makes
William Goodell?
with cyber threats so challenging is the parameters of engagement are not as well established.
Hello, NFL.
And
And beverage, would you like to have a
US is
beer?
mindful as
We have a right foot shock explaining having a beer
consider the approach that's necessary to protect
with
the
the
United
Boys
States
and Girls Club.
of establishing a framework,
establishing
a precedent
Precedent,
that's clearly in the best interest of the United States.
United States.
So we'll work through that. And as we do,
As we do.
the thing that the American people can be confident in is that the extraordinary capabilities that are retained by the United States that far exceed the
William R.
capabilities
Goodell,
that can be deployed by any other country
Maverick Capital.
will be used to protect our democracy and our system of conducting elections. So people can be confident in our ability to protect our system, in part because it's hard to hack. Our election system is very decentralized. You essentially have 50 different states, and in some cases, individual localities within those states that operate their own system of registering voters, of distributing ballots,
Northeast.
and of counting them. That makes it, in some cases, hard to implement reforms across the country.
Across the
because
country.
the systems are so different. But it also makes it hard to use one particular strategy to hack those systems because the systems are also different.
The systems are also different.
In some cases, the
In
systems
some cases,
are pretty old.
Pretty old.
And again, in some cases, that means casting
We're
a
in the
vote can be a little
basement.
inconvenient.
Hello.
But again, it also means that those systems can be harder to undermine through the
We're
internet.
in the basement.
So that's why we believe that people can
That's
be
why we
confident,
believe.
in the integrity of the
Barry
election system.
Griswold.
We're also quite interested in working closely with elections administrators to help them take additional
To
steps
help them
further
take additional
safeguard their
steps.
systems. And I know that there are at least
So they're the
33
board
states
members
that
of the
have already
Boys and
been in
Girls
touch with the
Club.
Department of Homeland Security to discuss and evaluate any potential vulnerabilities to their system and take steps to remedy them. I know that there are about a dozen or so localities or individual or local elections administrators that have also been in touch with
Good
federal
Lord.
officials who have the expertise that can be provided. So,
Oh my God, wait.
encourage elections administrators in other jurisdictions that haven't been in touch with the federal government to reach out.
Hello, everybody. Out.
Overall, we believe people
Oh.
should have a lot of confidence in the ability of the United States to conduct a free and fair election.
Hello, Mitzi. How are you?
The White House, political parties, people on the Hill. Is this just about opening an email that could have a virus, or is it more? Because I'm hearing for good.
Hello.
Many people have been told to not open certain emails.
We can't discuss that with you, Trinity.
Advice that DHS is providing to elections administrators, I'd refer you to them. I think in many cases
We can't
it's more
discuss it.
complicated than opening.
Just can't.
Also, now on the campaign trail, when should we expect?
Oh my God, I've been looking up the wrong information the whole time. Boy Scouts of America.
Well, as we discussed here earlier, April.
I'm so sorry. I was looking up the Boys and Girls Clubs. We meant Boys and Girls. Boy Scouts of America. BS of A.
Benefits of having the endorsement of the president and first lady.
The basement.
For some
Oh,
surrogates
what is
who
this?
announced their endorsement of Secretary Clinton,
Secretary
if they're going to go
Bill.
give a public speech, sometimes it's
I
hard
did
for them
not
to
have
attract a crowd,
implosions with
let
that
alone
building.
media attention. President Obama doesn't have
That's
that
a
issue.
quote.
President Obama went to Greensboro yesterday. There more than 7,000 people showed up to hear him speak. A large number of media organizations, especially in North Carolina, showed up to cover his speech.
Here we are. We have it here. Randall
Imagine
Stephenson,
something that
Robert
benefited
Gates,
the Clinton campaign without
Wayne
the
and
candidate
Perry,
himself having to be involved.
Rex Tillerson,
So
John
that's
Scott
the real
Chalk,
value of having somebody as high
Rick
profile
Schonk,
as the president
John
or the first lady,
Christman,
on the
Roy
stump
Roberts,
campaign
Milton
for you is
Ward,
that you don't have to also go there in order to get attention.
Norman
You have somebody else there
Augustine,
who can make a forceful case in support of your
Richard
candidacy.
Lee.
So I wouldn't rule out that there may be a future opportunity for the president to appear alongside his hoped for
John
successor.
Clendenin.
But right now we're focused on
Clendenin,
the
hello.
president's focused on doing as much as he can on his own
Charles Pickett,
to
Harold
support
Hook,
her campaign and to help her get her message out.
Sanford and McDonald, Edward Julian, Thomas McAvoy,
all these accusations and tapes and things. How personal is it?
Well, you heard the president talk about it last night. I think you could tell that he was speaking.
hello Boy Scouts of America.
Speaking about some deeply and strongly held values.
Good
and
Lord,
talking
it's the
about
CIA.
comments and conduct of the Republican nominee. And I think you can ascribe those
We're in the
same
basement.
strong feelings and deeply held values to the First Lady as well. Okay, Bill.
So President Putin is quoted as saying today that
Deep West
hysterics
Airlines,
will
hello.
distract the attention of the American people from the essence
We
of
were
what
right
the
foot
hackers
shock
have
for the
released.
Deep West
For
Airlines.
some reason, nobody talks about this. They talk about who did it. Is it really that important?
Deep West Airlines, hello.
I think it's
I think it's too early for us to do this.
it is important
It is important
for people to know
for people to know
that the intelligence community of the
that
United
did not
States has
have implosions with that building.
that
Russia,
is stealing
At an
emails and
early
disclosing them
age-
in an attempt to destabilize our political system. That is an important piece of
that is an
information.
important piece of information.
He goes on to say that it's flattering that Russia's getting all this attention.
Well,
Well,
he's he's certainly allowed to. draw
he's
his
certainly
own
allowed to
conclusions
do what he
about,
wants.
curating his public image. He apparently has some unique criteria
He's the
for
home.
evaluating his public image.
Side to side.
What we're focused on is making sure that the democratic institutions and our system of government is not threatened by
You've been there.
actions that are taken by
Actions are taken by
adversaries overseas. The
adversary.
United States is
The United States
prepared to defend our electoral
prepared to
system,
defend our
and being
electoral
confident that the United States has the capability
capabilities.
to make good on that promise to protect our system.
Make good on that promise.
Russia's an adversary.
Not for the first time, particularly when it comes to their activities in cyberspace. I think they make pretty clear that that's
Wow.
that the actions that they take are adverse to the actions
20
that is-
gigabytes of limitless data, 4 lines.
our system
Only
of government, or at least
$160.
destabilize it.
President
Only
Russia
at
is
Verizon
actually
Wireless.
Sort of blowing smoke on this.
Now, it's not the first time that
Not the first time.
that he has had some curious explanations for
We had some curious explanations.
Russia's
Russia's
activities. You know,
Russian miners,
as we
yeah.
discussed yesterday,
Discussed yesterday.
Russia's in a tough spot.
Russian miners in a
They've
tough
only
spot.
got one military
One military.
base outside of the former Soviet bloc, and it's in a nation that is
They're
crumbling.
asylum to Russian young people.
And the Russian government
Edward Snowden
has been forced to
rushed the young
deploy
people.
extensive resources,
It's a deep
military
horizon.
and financial, to try to protect that military base.
Hello,
to try
deep
to protect
horizon in theaters.
essentially the puppet government that
Puppet
they've
government
been supporting there for some time.
supporting their efforts.
And their efforts to do
Their
that
efforts to
have drawn the scorn of the international
we call
community
it
and
Bull
left
Bluff
Russia feeling
on
isolated.
CBS.
So isolated, in fact,
Thank you, MAC address.
that President
Notorious.
Putin didn't feel comfortable showing up to dedicated church in France.
Dedicated churches. Ben Sherwood's network.
That's not the
That's
body
not
language of somebody who is
somebody
particularly
who
comfortable
particularly
with their
comfortable
public image.
with their public image.
So
We can't cease and
It appears
desist
to me that he would have much more
any
reason
production.
to distract from the current state of affairs than
This is filmed in front of a live democracy.
Kevin.
Republic.
I want to follow up for
Expose
just
and
a second.
approve.
I've heard the president use the expression proportional.
We can't ride the train.
Use it as well.
Expo.
For the people that aren't awash in policy, they don't live in Washington.
Our phones
They might
fell
have
on the
trouble
floor
understanding
today.
what that might mean with respect to
We
responding
can't fall
to
asleep after any meal.
apparent Russian hacks.
No
What does
Expo
that
trains. No Culver City.
Well,
No
Kevin,
7th Street.
trying to further define
Trying to further
that word, I
define.
think, would only engage
You got
in
pickpocketed.
more
MAC
prompt,
address.
more public
Notorious. Thank
discussion
you. Your
of
missing
something
episode
that,
should be
frankly, we're not
very
prepared to
interesting to
discuss.
watch.
As I mentioned yesterday, the kind
Ben
of proportional
Sherwood.
response that the president would
Pick your
consider,
pepper.
is not necessarily the kind of response that we would announce in advance, or maybe even
Pick your
announce ever.
pepper.
So, the president will consider a range of options in terms
Suggestion
of
aborted,
determining what
please.
is appropriate or proportional.
Plagiarism.
But what we surely will
What
do
we surely
is deploy all of the necessary
deploy all
resources,
necessary.
to protect our system and
Protect our
prevent
system.
the Russians
We can't
from
cease and
succeeding
desist.
in their attempt to undermine our
It's
political system,
denied
undermine
to
our
prevent a critical
process.
non-compliance.
The essence of U.S. and American
MAC
democracy
address.
is that every eligible citizen should have an opportunity to have
MAC address is immediate
cast
access
vote
control.
and to have that vote counted.
Identifier
And to have
assigned
a
to a
say
network
in
interface
how our
for communications and the
country
data link layer of a network
is
site
led.
segment.
And
MAC addresses
that
are
is,
used to talk with the White House
that's a
and
principle that's
Notorious
enshrined in our
Line.
Constitution, and it's a principle that this government will
For
defend.
most IEEE
ask you about,
802 network
Aleppo, the
technologies,
Russians and others
including
apparently
Ethernet and
continuing to
Wi-Fi.
assault the people there over the
I'm
last 24
V-Siri.
hours. What's your
Thank you,
response to
V-Siri,
the
very much.
devastation there in particular? Dozens more killed.
We continue to see the Assad regime, with the support of the Russian government,
Cease and
engage
desist
in
denied.
depraved tactics that target civilians, attempting to
Plagiarism.
bomb them into submission, to
You're already telling our story
collect
to the
military
real.
gains on the ground. It is immoral.
Immoral.
It is.
It is.
It is something that tugs at the conscience
It is oxymoron.
of everybody who's paying attention. It is profoundly
That
tragic.
does it for our show. We'll talk to you guys
It has
on the
had
re-air.
impact
This is
on
14.14
a
Abbott
whole
Road.
generation
This is
of
Nicole.
Syrians.
EOC,
impact
LIN
has reverberated
Television. We'll
across
talk to
the
you guys
country,
later
even around the world,
on the
both in
re-air.
the form
We're
of
Nicole.
terrorism, but also in the form of a migration crisis, the likes of which